Hello and welcome to another detailing video. This time we're going to talk about Hyundai Ioniq 5N. This is an EV. Generally this wouldn't be a big deal, but this one's matte, and this is the reason why I thought perhaps it'd be a good one to talk about. Also, it is a brand new vehicle, but it had been sitting around for some time, so had a few more issues. So just a little bit more, there's more to it than just another straightforward. I wouldn't make yet another video on another new car where everything is just the same old matte paint, new carpet that's been sitting around a little bit, so trying to do some correction. You can't correct matte paint. Well, we won't get into that, but it's very, very, very difficult and very expensive to make polishes to correct matte paint. So there were some marks on it that we had to correct with chemical methods, so we didn't gloss up the paint. Anyway, we'll go through this premium new car detail. The difference between a new car detail and a premium new car detail is all the corrective stuff that we do. If you have a new car and you bring it into the detail stig and it requires no correction whatsoever, it's delivered very, very well, which is about 25% of vehicles that find their way to us, then it's a new car detail. If it's the 75% of vehicles that require some correction, it could either be a new car detail with some bespoke amount of corrective work, or it may be the premium detail, which is significant. It's not like a stage 1 detail, which is a complete correction. It's something you do to your car every 1, 2, or 3 years to bring it back. But it's just, it needs more than what a new car needs. Needs some paintwork correction, but not as much as a used car. Anyway, we'll get straight into this. So this is a really cool looking thing. I wouldn't buy one of these, but I think it looks cool. It looks different. This would stand out on the road, and this is how it was delivered to us. And from a distance, seems fine. It looks really good. Looks like it would be a simple job. Got in the car, and this has nothing to do with detailing. I just thought I'd mention. Got in the car and wondered how I was going to move this. So I started it up, or at least get the electric motors ready to drive, and then to engage a gear. I was looking for a gear selector. Cars aren't standardized like they used to be. You used to reach down with your left hand and just change from park into drive or put it into first. Now the controls are everywhere. They're different for every vehicle. And it just happened to be that the wheel was slightly tilted to the right. This is the way that the tow truck driver left the vehicle. This was towed directly from the dealer to me. The customer, by the way, is in New South Wales. He was a customer that I had done a detail for before, a long time ago, at least 20 years ago, when I used to travel to New South Wales to do work, and we're talking at least 20 years ago. So he hadn't bought a car in 20 years, and when he did buy a car, it just happened to be located in Victoria. The dealer he bought from was aware of who I was, Matt. Matt, thank you very much for talking to the customer, Stan, in New South Wales, for going to the trouble to allow him to bring the car to me for the prep for delivery and organising everything in between. So I've looked down at the steering wheel, and it was hiding to the right there. There's the gear selector, which is actually really nice. Tesla, pay attention. It's very, very nice to have a physical control to select which we select forward or rearward motion, or put the car into a park position. And once you know it's there, it's fantastic. But when you don't know it's there and you can't see it, it took a little bit of time just to get the thing moving into the workshop. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm getting old. So, that's frustrating. The steering wheel looks cool though, and the cabin's very, very nice. Also noticed this. Yes, nothing to do with detailing, and if you want, you can skip past this place. I'll put chapters here so you can go straight to the detailing. I just like this. I'm not a big fan of Hyundai products. I bought a couple and I didn't like them at all. But some of the things they do so well. This is a nice little cubby to put your phone. I put my phone in there, just a logical place to put it. It instantly started charging, and everything just works. And I think this is why people buy Hyundai products. They have a lot of stuff, and it's all useful, and ergonomically placed in the right. The placement is good. The where they put things and the things that they do put into the car are useful and thought out. And this is one of the customer asked me to send this photo. I'm talking about a socket here, right in the middle of the rear seat. There's a 240 volt outlet. I know this is nothing new, but this is so cool. As someone who has tools and carries tools in my car that require 240 volt power, it is really, really nice, or would be nice, as I don't own a vehicle, but it would be lovely to have a vehicle where I could plug a 240 volt tool or device of some sort and run it from the vehicle. Just fantastic. Okay, get straight into the detailing. Here's an image showing some dirt in the passenger window rubber. This is a sign for sure that you've got a vehicle that's been sitting around for some time. It's really caked in there too. This is after the wash. I did wash the car. I did use Jaffa everywhere, just to remove what was obviously baked on, and this remained. That's how stubborn it was. Not a big deal to remove it. Here it's removed. I used some more Jaffa. I used, I think, a soft toothbrush. That little mark there that looks like a scratch on the trim, that's just a reflection of the mirror. This is after the wash and before decontamination. You can see the wheel arch is beading, sort of. Not well, but it's beading water. But the bonnet, which almost looks like a clam, it appears to be glossy paint because the water is sticking to it in one giant sheet. So it doesn't have good washing characteristics. This will be a problem because the water will slowly evaporate and leave all the contaminants behind, and that will make that matte paint look very, very tired very quickly. This is after decontamination and after drying, so we've removed a lot of the contaminants and then air dried the vehicle. And by air dry, I mean using a compressor to get in all the nooks and crannies, so the whole vehicle is bone dry. It's not a drop of water on it anymore. This is the rear passenger side door handle, and just below it there's a mark there, a transfer. Lucky it was a transfer and not a scratch. And this is that transfer removed. If you've got a keen eye and you're using a setting that provides enough resolution, you should be able to see just where the door handle slides into the door, a little bit of contamination there. You've got some rail dust that's rusting. I did attempt to remove that, and there was a lot of this. There were thousands of these. I did attempt to remove them. I removed a lot of them. I minimized a lot of them, but not 100% of them could be removed. So if you're purchasing a vehicle, especially if it has matte paint and it's used or has been in storage or sitting around for some time, just know that there are chances that you're not going to be able to remove some things. There are a lot of matte vehicles that have been in storage in Australia that dealers are starting to move now, and they're 1, 2, and even close to 3 years old. A few BMWs with frozen paint. BMW Australia contacted me recently about a bunch of frozen paint cars that they had when they had watermarking issues, and they were asking me about different processes to use to remove them, and I recommended some processes, and said, look, if none of these work, you're going to have to send them away for painting. And they did talk to a few other detailers, and conclusion is that they're going to sell them at a discount because they don't want to send them away for painting. They're just simply going to discount the vehicles. I've had a few customers also contact me about eyeing off these vehicles, a significant discount, 20, 30, 40, 50%, $50,000 up to $50,000 off. And I've said to them, $50,000 off is significant, and it will allow for a complete respray, which you may have to do if you're very, very fussy and you want that matte finish to be as new. So just keep that in mind. If you're looking at a new car and it's matte, the maintenance on the vehicle is going to be significantly higher than if it was gloss paint. Just keep that in mind. I am a detailer. I'm a good detailer. I have a workshop, and I don't have a single vehicle that's matte. I love matte paint work, but even I don't have enough time in my life for this kind of maintenance. I don't want to put up with this, so I will always recommend glossy paint. But it does look cool, and if you're not driving the car enough and you're maintaining it really well, you get something that looks different for sure. Here's another panel with some contamination and some dirt along this crease line, or this edge or gap, where you've got two panels meeting each other or something along those lines. You've got some contamination here, and here it's all removed. This is some weirdness that I found only on one panel. So this is the diffuser that's above the rear window, and where the matte blue paint is, it didn't match any other panels. The paint on the entire vehicle was great except for this section. It was blotchy, it was dry. Something was wrong here. Just have a look at it. That does not look good, and it does not look like the rest of the paint, which looked like this. This is typical of the rest of the vehicle. Paint looks amazing, really cool, lovely color. This is the kind of saturation and color to expect. This pastel blue, deep saturated pastel blue. In some of the images, the car appears really pale, and I tried everything. If I took images with my device, which uses an HDR curves adjustment layer or something to bring the highlights down, you get that more natural saturation. In fact, sometimes it was a little oversaturated, but if I used a professional, which I'm using now, a professional camera, in a mode that captures more than enough dynamic range, it just always looked pale, and you couldn't adjust saturation or contrast enough to really get it back. It's a weird color to photograph. Just thought I'd mention that. This is some video during the decontamination, the chemical decontamination. I'm applying paint cleanse here, or cleanse strong. I think it's paint cleanse. And as you can see where I've frozen the frame here, there's some water has dripped down the sides of the vehicle and evaporated, and you've got some very, very, very minor water marking. So this I couldn't remove no matter what I did, how many different chemical processes I tried. I could not remove this weird water staining. However, when the vehicle is dry, and you'll see as I go over it and it's dry, it's not there anymore. It's not visible anymore. It's not visible in artificial light. It's not visible in natural light, no matter how strong it is. So that's not too bad. The car has some really cool highlights in gloss black, which offset that pastel blue really, really, really well. They were rough. They just required some simple correction, and I didn't go too nuts on them. We weren't trying to make them absolutely concourse, just get them from scratchy black to gloss black again, which was achieved. Just a few sections like that. This is the driver's window trim, and was probably the worst area. Had to do quite a few passes to try and get those marks back. Again, not 100% perfect, but from a normal viewing distance in normal light, in natural light, these appear perfect. Again, you can see the paint on the pillar looks kind of good, but the paint on the diffuser looks blotchy, and that's the least blotchy part of the diffuser. And this black trim here, which is not only scratchy, but had some weird white, I think white or silver overspray on it as well. Not good. This actually required a fair bit of work, but came up really well. Just looked nice and black and as new again when I was done. After all the correction was done, I applied some Full Metal Jacket paint protection. This is something that gives you hydrophobic washing characteristics and looks fantastic on matte. It sticks to matte paint very, very well. In fact, it lasts longer on matte paint than it does on gloss paint because it has more mechanical adhesion. And you remember these results before, earlier in the video, where we had a single sheet of water on the bonnet, or the front clam, whatever you want to call it. And now we've got beautiful hydrophobic effects. So washing is going to be a breeze. We've included some maintenance products for the customer. He is very, very worried, and I think he had reason to be worried about how to maintain the matte paintwork. He wants it to look as close to new as possible for as long as possible. He intends to keep the car for a long time. I said you cannot get lazy with your washing. You have to wash it often, at least every 7 days, and no longer than every 7 days. And also keep applying Full Metal Jacket spray wax to it. It will not adjust the matte finish more than one gloss unit, but it will absolutely give you a nice, definite, significant sacrificial layer of protection, a barrier between the matte paintwork and the contamination that'll build up on it. And here's the car 5 minutes before it was delivered to the tow truck driver to take it to New South Wales. For what was a happy customer, he's received the vehicle just as we delivered it. He's very, very happy with it. I would be too. It's a cool little machine. And this is just what it looked like in some natural light. It's actually quite strong sunlight. These what appears to be solid steel front brakes. The customer asked me what I thought of the vehicle, and I said it's really cool. Not sure about the solid front non-ventilated discs. I'm probably wrong. Calipers are fairly big. The discs are fairly big, but you'd think there'd be a little bit more technology to help heavy braking over and over again on a car that I believe is designed to do some track work. This is a really heavy car. Customer said, again, we could be wrong, or these numbers could be wrong, but it's well over 2 ton. If you pulled up a 2 ton vehicle multiple times, that heavy braking, I would think possibly you might start to have some brake fade. I just expected, this is a $120,000 retail vehicle, and a performance vehicle with these big brakes with the N all over it. I just kind of expected it to have more braking technology. Maybe it doesn't. Perhaps it doesn't need it. I'm not a mechanic, and I'm not a mechanical engineer, so what do I know? I just kind of expected it to have more impressive brakes. It does look really cool. If I'm correct, it's 4-wheel drive, a dual motor, and it would have a significant amount of torque. And as you can see in some of these pictures, or if you've been following me for a little while, my new place here, I work from home, has a 30-degree grade in the driveway. So a bunch of torque and all the mechanical traction to take advantage of that is something that's prized by me. That's why I have a 4-wheel drive vehicle as my daily. And just to see you out, here's some video of the washing characteristics, the Full Metal Jacket beating up some water. This is a coating test that I do to every vehicle. When I finish a job, the vehicle will stay with me. We'll keep it overnight for at least a 12-hour cure, and put it through a heat cycling cure as well. And in the next day in the morning before the customer arrives, I'll just do a quick test just to make sure that the coating's doing what it should. And if it's not and something's gone wrong, I'll call the customer and say, look, we've got an issue, and I'll apply the coating again, or might have to do even more work. But always, if you're a detailer, my recommendation, my opinion is you should do a check just before you deliver to the customer. Make sure the coating that they've paid for is working, is showing signs of life. Okay, I hope that was interesting. And if there's another one that comes up that's interesting, we'll make another video. Thank you.